Hi Scorpio, I hope that you guys are doing well. For anybody new tuning in, my name is Gabriella. Today we are going to be using the Fountain Tarot deck. I don't know if we've used this before. It's like, watch we used this last time. I may have used a different deck with you guys the last reading that we did. Anyway, before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. For some of you, there may be some sort of return. I'm looking at Mercury, and I'm also looking at a return, and I'm feeling like there's going to be some relevance with the planetary alignment. I was also getting this too. When I was meditating on the energy, I was getting this notion of somebody interacting with you and wanting to be mindful of the difference between whether you're interacting with somebody that is actually going to be open to a dialogue and receptive to what you're saying versus you wasting your breath. Because you may even have somebody like antagonizing you in some sort of way, like whether or not that's what they're trying to do, or somebody that you feel like you need to explain yourself to, or whatever it is for you. And if this person, there's going to be definitely a different level of frustration that you feel depending on like whether or not somebody's open to what you have to say. And for some of you, you're going to get to a place where you're like, you know what, I'm not looking for that validation anymore, and I don't need to prove myself to anybody, and so I don't even need to respond. I don't even need to say anything about that. And you may even have one of those moments where your ego's like, we're not going to say something, and your higher self is going to be like, no, we're not going to say anything. Because even though you can, sometimes it's just like a waste, and it's like, why are you going to channel your energy into that when you can be using it to focus on something that's going to benefit you and going to like bring back your power to yourself, rather than wasting it on somebody else, like you giving it away. And this is even a moment where we allow everybody to have their own opinions and don't feel the need to like push some sort of agenda. You may be feeling a little bit lonely. I'm looking at the Four of Cups here. You could just feel like certain things... For some of you, you could have been experiencing a little bit of a high, and now you're feeling a little dip in that. This looks like the party's over type of vibe here. So maybe I'm hearing momentary change. Like maybe related to like mood energy for you. For some of you, you could be having a lot of dreams or strange dreams recently. Like you could be waking up tired too. Feeling that. For some of you, you're even like sleeping more, but you're still waking up tired, I'm getting. I'm hearing momentary again. This feels like something related to the transits. It looks like there's something that you're working on, and you may be like running out of gas a little bit. With the Four of Cups and the Eight of Swords, I'm kind of getting that. It's like something that you're on the brink of, that you've been continuously working on, but part of you, it's like maybe some of your some of your motivation is leaving. This is about finding a way to like reignite that flame for yourself. I keep getting so many, like, I know that it's not random, but it's seemingly random, like, messages that keep coming through for you guys. So maybe you're just, your mind is in a lot of different places, your energy is, and it may be hard for you to concentrate. Like, maybe you just feel even drained by some more simple things. And this thing that it looks like you are at the edge of completing, it looks like there's, like, you could be doubting yourself a little bit, or maybe you feel like a lack of connection to this thing that you had been working on. Or maybe you feel like there's not as much support for you. I'm seeing like something that it looks like you've been doing this independently, but it seems too like you've been dealing with the ups and the downs independently as well, Scorpio. For some of you, this is related to moving on from someone. It can also be one of those moments where you could have had somebody in your life and things were very chaotic within the dynamic with them. And even though you recognize that as not being sustainable, now that you may have a separation from the person, things may feel somewhat bland to you. It seems like your system is even recalibrating. But to go from something that's very chaotic to like something more still and peaceful and maybe even like lonely or solitary, we can definitely feel a dip in energy because of that, for sure. I'm hearing the song Wake Up Alone by Amy Winehouse. You are about to get moving. What I'm seeing is that we start in a place where things feel somewhat blue. Like, you see the hue of these cards, and then there's a transition where it's like the blue starts turning into green, and then we end up with like yellow and just shades where it's like the sunlight is kind of leaking back into everything. This is what I'm seeing. It's like something that you're putting together, everything's about to make a whole lot of sense, whereas there was definitely a big struggle. Like, it looks like mood-wise, mental health-wise, something that you were moving through that maybe you didn't know if you were going to come out on the other end of it. But I am seeing you persevere through. It's like the more you continue working on this, and I'm seeing you very close to finishing something here. It's just about like sticking it out. I'm hearing for these last 2 pages. It's like maybe even the tail end of something. I'm hearing this is about your constitution. I'm hearing the word return. It looks like there was some type of upset because of something not appealing to you and maybe not feeling like it was good enough, or like not feeling like it was meeting your standards. You could have also been with somebody where, remember, energies can always be reversed, I will say that. You could have been with somebody where you were willing to like show up and give what you were willing to give to this person, and like that wasn't good enough for them because they had stuff to work on their own. So this is about not seeing this as a reflection of you, because I'm getting whoever this person is that you were dealing with, I'm seeing someone be like, wow, they were offering me all of that and I turned it down at the time, and now I'm seeing this person be very lonely and regretful about that. Like, I'm just seeing this person look very sad. You could have even been offering some type of consistency to this person, but that's not what they wanted. Like, this is somebody that maybe you were trying to have, like, a committed monogamous relationship with, and they were making it very difficult, is what I'm hearing. It's like, maybe that was just not something that they wanted at the time. But there's a sense of, like, I'm seeing this person look back at it and be, like, laying in the bed that they've made, and there's a sense of looking back and being like, I was offered all of that. So, yeah. Wow, definitely like some Mercury retrograde vibes that I'm feeling here. This is going to be relevant for some reason. Because they're watching you. Love the energy, Scorpio. It's like, rather than you having to stalk somebody, the tables have turned. And I say that lightly. But yeah, Scorpio placements are actually very good for detective work. It's something like innately gifted with the Pluto energy. Like detectives and all of that. Research. Private investigator. Psychology. Yeah, I'm hearing Adele. I'm hearing We Could Have Had It All. So, this feels very, very much like breakup, separation. You're not with this person anymore. And there's a sense of like longing, regret. I'm seeing a lot of thematical topics. So it looks even like on your own time you've been resolving something or figuring it out, and I'm seeing you very much come up onto the end of it. It's like, and now you're understanding that I'm hearing even something about the long stretch. It's like you just have one straight shot of where you need to go now in order to get to this location. Like, I'm even seeing you completing like a puzzle or an obstacle course here, and it's like you have one more piece to fit, and then you're gonna get on that train and go to exactly where you're meant to be going. And now I'm seeing in the next spread, there's a sense of having wanted something with someone. There's both like one consistent energy and one inconsistent energy, and I'm seeing the inconsistent energy is the one that's looking back and like feeling regretful about what has come to fruition, and it's like now they can't keep their eyes off of you. This is what I'm seeing with the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Coins, and the Page of Swords. It's like the directional shift. It's like maybe before you felt even like you were kind of chasing after this person or trying to appeal to them in some sort of way, Scorpio. And now the tables really have turned, because whether or not this person has actually approached you up until this point, I'm seeing that, like, as I said before, they're now laying in the bed that they made, and I'm seeing this person very much looking back at you and this sense of, like, what had slipped through their fingers or what they had allowed to slip through their fingers. Interesting. So somebody actually may be coming around to clear something up about why it is that they left. I'm seeing some sort of discussion that is going to illuminate something that had been confusing before and had been unresolved before. And I'm seeing somebody come through with a purpose of clarifying information. It's like I'm seeing it both be like facts and information that they would give you, but it would also resolve something emotionally. I'm seeing like a lot of instances of regret here. Like I'm seeing somebody like really sitting around thinking about things, really thinking about their feelings. And maybe somebody even feels like they made an impulsive emotional decision, something that like they were ungrounded, or they hadn't been like properly managing something, and impulsively they felt something and so they acted on it. And now that they're in the space that they're in, they're thinking back at this. I'm hearing and biting their nails. So yeah, it feels like somebody maybe even dealing with the repercussions of a choice that they made, and they may feel regretful of that now. This is also about you sitting in a place where maybe you do feel lonely. However, if somebody's coming through that like doesn't actually resonate with you, or they're not meeting your standards, are you going to accept it just because you're on your own right now? I'm hearing also just because you need a friend. So this can be like something that's coming up for you. It's like, are you willing to like compromise your standards for the sake of having somebody around that actually like doesn't show up for you and doesn't allow you to feel seen, and takes for granted what you offer to them as you feel it? Because it looks like somebody wants to come through and potentially even negotiate something with you in relation to your standards. However, you're being guided not to take the offer if it doesn't resonate with you, because it's just going to leave you back to how you're feeling. Like, I'm seeing a sense of like maybe even feeling blue because of something going on. And it's like this person may be coming around trying to appeal to you, and then like a similar thing potentially would be happening again. Because I'm seeing you be in your head. You're like, are they just coming through because they want something from me, like instant gratification wise, and then they're going to bounce again? Like I'm seeing there be confusion about that. It's like, why are they coming through? Because I'm seeing this person, it's like they will be very charming when they come through, very appealing. It's like they'll say all those things that you want to hear. There's somebody that's going to compliment you, be like quite persuasive. Like there can even be like an intense attraction between you and this person, but it's something that really brings up a lot of confusion for you. And if somebody's coming through and their intentions are clear, you are going to walk away with clarity and peace rather than congestion and confusion. And I'm seeing there be a question mark when it comes to this person's actual intentions with you. Because they may say one thing because they want something from you and then bounce. And I'm seeing you even adding things up. It's like, well, this behavior doesn't lead up to that, and that over there doesn't make sense either. And I'm seeing you like even give yourself clarity. It's like maybe in this time that you've had away from this person, you've kind of been like maybe even putting some sort of puzzle together when it comes to these patterns and behaviors of this person. I'm seeing like you're almost at the point of like even at the brink of realizing something, Scorpio. And it's like you're being guided to push through and complete this and not knock it all over, because I'm seeing you very close to completing something, to understanding something, to like having a complete even conception. There's just like one more piece that's missing, but it's like you have it in your hands, you just have to put it in the right place, and like something is going to click for you that had been like sort of a mystery or unresolved before. And within that moment, I'm seeing that you recognize, and this may be like a leap for where you are right now, but I'm seeing you get to this point where you recognize that based off of what you've observed, when you go based off of facts and behavior rather than like lies or emotional manipulation, you're going to recognize that the dynamic that you've had with this person is not something that at the end of the day you feel a sense of fulfillment within. I'm hearing that's the leading cause of like the blueness, of the loneliness, because there's a lack of fulfillment with the way that this person behaves. Because I'm seeing somebody very inconsistent. I'm seeing them come in and out, and maybe you even feel used at times by this person. It's like, for some of you, I'm even seeing this go beyond just somebody trying to hook up with you. It's like maybe sometimes this person like asks you for money and stuff, and it's like they come through when they need something from you ultimately. I'm seeing a very transactional relationship between you and this person. However, they will tell you that like they love you and they care about you and like mirror that thing that you want from them. But it's like, if that was authentic, why do you feel empty? And that's really the question here with this person. It's like, how many times does this need to happen for it to click for you? And I'm seeing like something about to make so much sense. And then it does, and you're like, I can't believe it. Like, I missed this, or I wasn't seeing this before. I'm seeing this be like some big, big, like soul contract, karmic contract that you have with this person that you're moving through. Like, once you move out of this, I'm just seeing something like majorly be completed for you, Scorpio. But to have like this intense heaviness energetically with this person, it's not something easy to move through, because this is something that like plays with you mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Because of the influence of this person's energy, it's like the way that it interacts with yours. For some of you, their Pluto is in your 12th house, in your synastry. An example of the effect of Pluto, someone's Pluto in your 12th house, would mean they may have a psychological effect on you where they can kind of play puppet master a bit, like sort of unbeknownst to you. It's something that like may be harder for you to pick up on, but it's like they know what makes you tick and also how to manipulate you, like even effortlessly. And it may be something that it's like harder for you to see. It may be like in a more subconscious way, so you don't realize it. But like regardless, even if that's not happening, I'm seeing something like along those lines. What I'm getting more than anything from this person is that like transactional relationships may be what they know because of like where they are within their development. And so like what I'm getting is that it doesn't matter whether they're doing it deliberately or not, it's still happening. And so that gives you the stage to then decide what you want to do about it. Because at the end of the day, if somebody's hurting you, does it matter whether they're doing it on purpose or not? Like, it still hurts. So it's still something that, like, some sort of action needs to be taken with that. And, like, maybe removing yourself from that would be the thing. It's not like you need to go and, like, let them know all of this stuff. Like, for some of you, you don't feel the need to let somebody know how they're making you feel. There's a sense of just recognizing that this is something that you want to back away from, because this may also be someone that's difficult too. It's like when you bring certain things to their attention, they may have a way of like turning it around back on you, and then you feel invalidated in some way based off of your experience. And you're like, before I went into this, I was so confident about how I was feeling, and then after I talked to them, I feel like it's all my fault. I am seeing like this overarching theme of you feeling kind of like you're on your own and having a lack of support, like definitely feeling a lack of support, a lack of community, I'm even hearing. I'm seeing for some of you, like, maybe you just have, like, one person that you kind of lean on to, and you don't really feel like you have a bunch of people around you. And that may be something that, like, has some sort of isolating effect on you as well. For some of you, like, you could have even lost, like, maybe one person that you actually did rely on. This feels very much like a mindset that is going to be shifted. I actually do think that we use this, I do think that we used this tarot deck for the last Scorpio reading we did. And, like, having this, like, energetic memory of one of the spreads that we did in the last reading. Which is interesting to come through, too, because, like, when I'm doing a reading, once I'm done with it, then, like, I put the cards down and I walk away from it. Like, I do not recall anything that I read for in the reading. I have to watch it back. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm getting, like, some sort of energetic imprint. What I'm getting is that right now, you feeling this sense of, like, depravity or feeling unwell in some type of way, like, especially psychologically, mentally, this is something that is absolutely able to change. For some of you, you may be even, like, seeking therapy or something if you feel like you don't have, you can't find the resources yourself, like, meaning on your own. You may be, like, seeking some sort of counsel or advising in relation to your emotional and mental health. Because I'm even seeing something that like, maybe at times you feel tormented by psychologically, and this can even be a very intense fear of being alone or being, like, completely ostracized and misunderstood, like, to the maximum degree. Because there's a sense of, like, really feeling like you have to fend for yourself and that you are, like, completely and utterly alone within the world and, like, absolutely misunderstood. I'm hearing something about victim blaming. Yeah, and this is something that may be, like, very deep rooted too. It's like maybe even something happened within your childhood where, like, you could have been blamed for something also and you felt like you weren't heard. And now, like, growing up, there's that sense of, like, always feeling even misrepresented in some sort of way. For some of you, there was even, like, something about childhood neglect here I'm seeing. I'm seeing this even be something that, like, transitions and carries through into adulthood, where, like, some of you, there may be something about, like, being scared of the dark, or, like, there may be, like, some sort of fear that you still hold on to that has, like, manifested into your adulthood based off of a childhood experience. And it also has now tied into your relationships as well. Like, I'm seeing this fear. There was this, like, some sort of isolation that happened, and, like, something that, like, even may have manifested for some, very interesting we're going this deep. For some of you, like, on the more extreme end, I'm seeing something that even developed into a psychosis. And I'm seeing that also, like, impact your interpersonal relationships as well. It's, like, maybe something that you feel like you carry into these relationships. This feels like something very, very intense with this shadow work that would need to be addressed. Like, it's something that is able to be addressed. So, like, also know that too. But sometimes we feel very attached to, like, our trauma and the woundology and all of that. So it's something that we feel uncomfortable even addressing, because then we'd be healing from it and then we wouldn't have it anymore. And for some of us, that's so uncomfortable that we don't want to do it. because the growing and the healing is not easy. It's extremely uncomfortable, and it can be excruciating at times, even though like the end result is something that we want. Sometimes when we're so far into it, we don't realize that we want to be healed, because we like having that thing that we can rely on, because we're used to feeling like pain or trauma, or whatever, because that's what's familiar to us. Yeah, I'm seeing it almost be like every time you start building a relationship with someone, like maybe even subconsciously, it's like this thing comes through and it's like this part of your shadow, or maybe even like an aspect of yourself. For some of you, remember, energies can be reversed. This can be the person that you're dealing with, or like a theme that you've seen within your relationships. I'm getting something about artist or artistry. Yeah, I'm seeing it be like this psychological factor that creeps into the relationship, where because one already feels unseen and like they're on their own, which means like the heart, I'm seeing the heart chakra be blocked. I'm seeing absolutely the third eye, like without a doubt, like with this type of energy, because I'm seeing this sense of like paranoia that this person experiences, like psychologically so deep that like they sometimes don't even realize the way that it I'm hearing informs the relationship. It's like they may not even be aware, like because of how identified they are with the shadow, it's like they're not aware of like how out of touch or ungrounded like these thought patterns are that they have. Yeah, this feels like that same energy that we were talking about the last time we used this deck in a Scorpio reading. So it's like this person in certain ways, like they do feel connected, but it's like they project their shadow onto this person that they're connecting with, and so they see like all of their nightmares essentially in this person, and rather than realizing that as being an aspect of themselves, because of how like separated they are from the aspects of themselves, they don't realize that they're projecting it onto you. And then they may even, like for some of you, but like they may even call like you the narcissist when they're the ones that are exhibiting narcissistic behavior patterns. Or like even because the Five of Swords can even sometimes be like an abusive type of dynamic as well. Like it can be like psychologically, emotionally, but it feels very much like this person's manifestation, even though they may like see themselves in you or identify with you or be like at the core of it, like I do feel this attraction with this person. It's like they're projecting so heavily onto you because of the like deep shadow work that they have not addressed, and because of how much they're identifying with the ego, that they like can't, they can see, like they can feel it, they can feel the connection. However, like they can't like fully comprehend all of it because they're still not able to see outside of themselves, because they project onto everything. So it's like this person is actually looking into a mirror, however, they're not realizing that the mirror is there. So it's like even though they're looking at themselves, they're not recognizing that that's what's happening. They think it's like another person that they're looking at actually, when it's just them. which is like also really trippy because it's like because of how like sucked into themselves this person is, like they may not even realize, so it's like they reverse it and turn it around. And this means too, like they may also play very hot and cold with you. It's like sometimes they love you and they call you an angel and perfect, and at other times you're like a demon to them, truly. But it's also like their own psychological games that they're playing that they're seeing reflected in the dynamic. So it's like you could seriously just be standing there and doing nothing, and like within a matter of days they would see you as like 5 different things, even if you gave them absolutely nothing, because it's like they're just playing with themselves, they're just interacting with themselves. I'm hearing something about psychosis again, like maybe this person is actually like getting some type of psychological like help or counseling or something. It seems like this is somebody that like they've been struggling with this for a lifetime. Like this is not somebody that would be able to like maintain healthy, consistent relationships. This is somebody that would like showcase a lot of inconsistencies within their lives. Like they may not have a lot of like long-term friends, if any. They may be kind of estranged from their family as well. They could have even had trauma that happened within the family too, like as a child. I'm getting something about the beach. I'm seeing like such a stagnancy with this person's energy, and this is a moment too to realize that the most we can do for other people is to work on ourselves and to bring as much love into the conversation and into our actions and our thoughts as possible, and recognize that sometimes it's the most loving thing for us to do to be able to hold space for a person where they are, and that doesn't always mean being involved. There's a sense of acceptance, because like if this person is not willing, keyword will, if this person is not willing to, I'm even hearing settle down, but it's even something, it's like if this person is unwilling to ground their energy, it feels very much like they have some sort of like blockage that I don't know. They could just be still like harboring a lot of like hate and animosity and whatnot that they haven't resolved. And like if that had been worked on, or if that is worked on, like it would change other things. Like I'm seeing that be the basis of this. It's like it's still maybe like a lot of unresolved trauma that this person has. Anyway, because it's not really about them. This is about you. The you being able to like see this person where they are and accept that is what would be like necessary for you to do. Like that would be your shadow work in this situation, because as much as we can like want somebody to change or want them to heal or whatever, like that's not our job and it's not our karma, and we are meant to be respecting everybody's free will, and this person is not yet ready, not yet in a place where they are willing to heal. And that is why they are where they are. Because it is a matter of will, for sure. It's a matter of choice. Because things don't happen until we're ready for them to happen. For some of you too, you could have even seen this person like going to therapy, and it's like there's absolutely no change that you're observing, and it's because they're not willing to. And as I said before, that is something to accept and choose from that space if this is something that you want to continue being involved in, or if this is something you want to walk away from. And for some of you, there's like a lot of sympathy that you have for this person too. But it's like, are you playing the martyr here and keeping yourself around a situation that is also affecting your mental and emotional stability, is what I'm hearing. Because you're not assigned to anything. You don't have to stick around for this. It's all a choice. So like, you're making a choice too. And that's not to say that you don't have a connection with this person. I'm seeing that you do. However, like, you can only hit the surface of it. Like, you can't explore it more deeply because this person still has like so many barriers up that you're not going to get any further. Because it takes two people to have that emotional intimacy, and it's a place where like this person hasn't even discovered intimacy with themselves, and so they can't explore that with you. It's like they can only go as deep with you as they've gone with themselves, and there's like a lot that they have not even scratched the surface with yet when it comes even to their like psyche space and their soul space and all of that. There's like still a disconnection here. How fitting, Scorpio. We're ending with the Death card. And the Ace of Cups. The experience that you've had with this person, I'm seeing also like this person may have some like really intense Pluto energy that is still very much in the shadow. I'm hearing the word psychosis again. The relationship that you've had with this person is an extreme catalyst for you on your spiritual journey, because I'm seeing like as much as you have the Two of Cups with them, you also have the Five of Swords there. So it's like the most emotionally intimate, like connecting, like I see you and I feel seen by you and all of that. It's like that, and then it has like the one that refuses to get intimate or emotional or vulnerable, and it's like these two things clashing and coming together. And I'm seeing like because of this, the intensity and duality of the experience that you've had with this person, it has like all of the right ingredients. I'm even seeing like one of those volcanoes where you put like, what is it, vinegar and baking soda in it and it explodes. It's like this can be a catalyst for like your spiritual growth, because I'm seeing this be like a very intense and difficult situation that you were like so sucked into. And when you step back out of it, you recognize like the personal growth that you've made and like how this can lead to a very big transition for you within your life. And two, I'm seeing that a lot of you could have like been over identifying even with this person that you've been dealing with, and so you even feel like you're leaving a part of yourself if you're going to separate from them. So yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of psychological stuff that you're working through, for sure. And in this spread, I'm just looking at Scorpio here. Alright, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.